You want to talk about some trailers now?
This, hey, the game, the game was awesome. I can't say that the trailers were better than the game, but there's one trailer that might go down. Like the movie itself might be better than the Super Bowl.
And I assume we are talking about the Flash here, Ricky Flicks. We knew this was Warner Brothers' first trailer released at the Super Bowl, I think in 20 years. And I think it lived up to the hype. It really was the talk of the trailers. And this comes at the same Super Bowl where we have trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We got trailers for Fast X. We got a Transformers new movie in the way, new installment in that franchise. But it seemed like on Twitter, people could not stop talking about The Flash. And this comes after James Gunn has spoken about this movie, how it's going to reset the DC timeline. And even though he doesn't have any credits to this movie, he has claimed it's one of the best movies, superhero movies he's ever seen. Directed by Andy Muschietti. Sorry. This is coming out June 16th. So this is like the blockbuster release season. A lot of questions around this movie. We have Ezra Miller, obviously,
Put
as
it
a
lightly.
star. Will he continue as the Flash in the DCU under James Gunn with the resetting of this timeline and the uncertain futures of other Snyderverse heroes? We also have a Snyderverse casting here with Ben Affleck returning as a Batman, and then we also have Michael Keaton, who was supposedly going to have a future in the DCEU until it was abruptly ended, and James Gunn's resetting this timeline. He is going to be joining this movie. Ricky Flicks, initial reactions to seeing this trailer.
This trailer had it all. It honestly did. It put a lot of question marks to bed, as in, like, is this going to be put together? Because there was a lot of controversy, obviously, around it. This was filmed in 2021 in the United Kingdom. There was controversies around there. Um, I still can't believe how good this trailer was. Because the hype around this has been through the roof throughout last year and into this year. And then you had James Gunn confirming the rumors, or himself saying, rejuvenating the rumors that this is one of the best superhero movies of all time when he announced the DC Phase 1 slate here. So after seeing this, so going into this trailer, I'm like, all right, this better be at least decent, like look decent. It blew my socks off. It was unbelievable. And it looks coherent. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different characters, but it looks like they clearly have a plan, and they clearly outline basically the over like 30,000 foot high plot of the movie. And I thought that was really impressive with all the moving parts. But the takeaway of the trailer is how good Michael Keaton looks, and the Batman in this, and as Batman in this trailer. There's a lot of other things we could talk about, we will talk about, but the takeaway has to be Michael Keaton stealing the show.
That needs to be the takeaway. I was blown away by how good he looked in the suit here. I was nervous, like how aged he's gonna look. I didn't. We have like also a trailer we got was Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones, and how like aged Harrison Ford looks, and with the stunts that we're supposed to believe he can actually do in that movie. This was a fascinating look at Michael Keaton's Batman because he is like almost transferring from a 1989 world under Tim Burton, one where like he doesn't have much flexibility in the suit. Like he does a couple action sequences, but nothing to the level of what we saw in this trailer. He looks so badass with the music coming in, even the introduction from the two Ezra Millers, the two Flashes in this movie, where he goes like, you are, and then he says the "I'm Batman" line, and everyone's waiting to hear. But then to see like him with like the backglider swooping down and then kicking ass, that was so sick. I cut it up immediately. I put that strictly. That's the only part of the trailer I needed to see, you know. And like it totally overshadowed like Ben Affleck showing up in this trailer and the blue and gray suit that we're seeing that's more like old school comic book accurate, you know? It was Michael Keaton. And I'm nervous a little bit. The only thing about Keaton here, I'm afraid the performance is gonna be a little too wink wink, where it's like him saying I'm Batman in like the trailer here. He's kind of be almost having too much fun with it, where it's like it goes a little campy for like what comic book audiences want to see in this day and age. But I thought the suits looked amazing, and I'm just that's got to be like the highlight of like my experience watching this is knowing Michael Keaton. It's almost like my skepticism faded away after watching this.
Let me just push back a little bit on the Keaton comment, because you have Ben Affleck in this movie, and like you said, Michael Keaton stole the show in this trailer, and particularly from Ben Affleck, who, by the way, he looks amazing. Like him, like come on now, the Man Rocket, holy crap, him as Bruce Wayne, that really good. But Michael Keaton, they definitely told him like, hey, Ben Affleck's gonna be his Snyderverse Batman, real serious, right? They probably told him, hey, be Michael Keaton in this suit. He goes, yeah, I'm Batman. Like that's, you could picture Michael Keaton saying that. Like my first, so like right when you start the trailer, it's narration. And it's Michael Keaton. He goes, tell me something. That is Michael Keaton. Like I thought of Gene from the other guys. Like, guys, come here. Like I was just thinking of the other guys, Gene. I thought it was perfect. The narration was so good. It was like that like welcoming feel, yet like serious tone. I honestly love the approach that they're going, Michael Keaton. And I think, yes, it is in the back of my mind concerned if they go too campy. But then again, we got the fight sequence in the beginning in the Batcave or wherever. And then we get the fight sequence when he signals for Supergirl. And he wasn't too campy there either. Like he had that one line, but he's serious and he's like a part of the act. And to me, that was like, yeah, this is a good balance here. I really like it. And to counteract against a Ben Affleck Batman, who's the exact opposite, and also to kind of blend in and have some chemistry with Ezra Miller Flash, Barry Allen, who is also kind of a comic relief with the Justice League. So I think that's a good chemistry with that as well. So overall, I love it. I absolutely love it. Has to be the takeaway. And again, I think I have to say it personally. He is a lot more active than I thought. The jump and glide, and then
so cool looking.
Dude, when he catches the guy and then throws him down, body slam down, and then the superhero landing after that, I don't know how that made it look so real, because there is no way Michael Keaton, how old is he? Over 60, easy, right? And he's only 5'9". They make him look like he's 6'5" in this somehow. They made him look so active, and yet, like, I'm not gonna say realistic, but like not fake. Like, I don't know like how they did that. And he was fighting in multiple scenes. Like, I'm blown away by Michael Keaton and Batman, how they were able to do this in this trailer, let alone I can't wait to watch this movie because of this mainly. And everything else looked good too, but this was the main takeaway.
And there's something about him wearing the suit where he just doesn't look that old. You know, I just like he doesn't look like he is like a Harrison Ford coming back to Indiana Jones. He looks like an old grizzled Batman, you know, just to me, it works, you know, and I think it's good that like we're probably only going to get him for one movie. I think that works out perfectly where you don't have to worry about, okay, where are we going to see him next? It's like, okay, we get this nice treat. We get to have Michael Keaton return as Batman in a movie where there's going to be multiple Batmen. And it's like technically, like we got Keaton coming, Affleck's in this movie, and then obviously you have Pattinson. He's not going to be in this movie, but Pattinson's now as a Batman, and we're getting another Batman for the Brave and the Bold upcoming DCU movie with James Gunn. I also love the bat suits that they have for like the different universe that he's coming from. It has like the nightmare, right? Batman versus Superman, where it's like the apocalyptic world. It's got like the Batman versus Superman. He's fighting Superman in like the dark black. He's got a blue version. It's cool to see the attention to detail from this trailer. Affleck, I do want to talk about him for a sec. There was a really weird like suit that looked like it was really stretchy. I don't know if the CGI was a little bit off in one of the stills that came out of him stretching out, right, hitting that grapple gun. But we didn't get a lot of Affleck in this trailer, and I think it really set expectations for audiences that he's not going to be in much of this movie. But also the story that goes with this, like all with the if it's very much in the same vein as like the Flashpoint Paradox, the famous graphic novel with the Flash, where he goes to a universe where his mom isn't killed and then it resets everything for DC heroes. We're introduced to a world in this movie where there are no metahumans. So it very much fits like, oh, Batman exists though, because he's not a metahuman. So it lines up perfectly. I think they did a good job constructing the story. So it makes sense that Batman's there. It's not just shoehorned in like it is for a lot of Marvel projects where it's just, hey, this person's going to show up because like we want them to show up. Makes sense here. But what do you think? What are your expectations for Affleck in this movie?
I think limited. I think he's just going to be like in the first act, maybe, just in that world before Barry goes to a different world where his mom's living. I think that is going to be the story here. I don't think it will be the story where he goes back and saves his mom. I think it will be a different world with no meta. He travels to a different world.
Yeah.
Or he
Okay.
created a world with no metahumans, like
So
somehow trying
you
to get
don't
back.
think we're going to get like Keaton and Affleck like meeting each other?
I don't know how that's possible because if you create a new world, right, with no metahumans, it's like there's not gonna be more than one Batman, you
Yeah.
know?
So it's not going to be like a No Way Home situation where you have all these
Right.
three Spider-Men.
I
And
don't so like yeah,
And
and
in
like
the Flashpoint paradox, the bat like it's Thomas Wayne who is Batman in that
right,
world.
but
It's
this
Bruce
yeah,
Wayne dies, and they don't come face to face. They just Thomas Wayne leaves a note for his son when uh Barry Allen, the Flash, travels back to his regular universe. You know?
right, but I think this is like he just goes to a different universe.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
different and he basically is the only person not from that universe. So everyone else is new or whatever. That's why there's 2 Flashes. He's like the
Yeah.
second
No, I
Flash.
agree with you. No, I hear you.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's why like Zod's able to be there and crap like that. But like the Batman's like, oh, there's no Ben Affleck Batman. There's the Michael Keaton one who was in the 80s, but he's old now. I think I love the concept. I do. And like Supergirl, obviously. Like I love the whole concept here. I think it's very clever. And also now I understand like, yeah, this could work. Like them doing it this way with the new DC phase one coming in next year. I do understand it now how it like just right now on the 30,000-foot view, like I mentioned earlier, how this could work.
And we did get a massive surprise in this trailer with Zod being the main villain. Like, who saw that coming? Michael Shannon coming back, one of the best parts of Man of Steel. He and like first of all, Man of Steel getting some love in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, who knew that we were gonna like return to this, especially after the turmoil that has been Henry Cavill's relationship with DC. Supergirl, Sasha Call, also gonna appear in this movie. Also, it's gonna be interesting her future. Let's say like she's a scene stealer of the Flash movie. Is she the centerpiece of the upcoming Supergirl movie headed by, but not that's involved with James Gunn, new look DCU? I think it's a long shot. I think it's not the type of Supergirl or even the character they anticipated on having. I think they might want to start from scratch. And this has been in development for so long, and Sasha Call got casted way before James Gunn was involved with DC in terms of a CEO type of level. So, what do you have any impressions about her? It seems like she's very angry. She seems like a foreigner. It seems like she's much more hard edged than what we saw from Henry Cavill, and she seems like she has quite the vendetta against General Zod.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be like similar like what we talked about with the new project with James Gunn and the DC Phase 1 where like yeah, Supergirl like she was there when like her planet blew up and so she probably has a lot of animosity towards Zod. So this is personal
Hmm.
for her. So I like that. Um and it seems like she was like captive and like they were holding her captive in like a prison and like Batman and the Flashes, they knew like, oh, Zod's here, we can't defeat him. But probably Michael Keaton's Batman, it's like, oh, like I know someone that there's no metahumans here, right? But metahumans are created, right? Like they're created on Earth. But if there's no metahumans, then who can you rely on? Aliens, people not from Earth. So like basically metahumans that aren't humans. It's like, oh, I know an alien on Earth. Like, let's go grab her. Like, I love the concept here. It works. I really like it. And I think she looks, I think like the animosity and the fight scene so far that we saw in the trailer with her and the flying aspect all looks good. This look clean as a trailer. I don't really have complaints about the CGI. I know you mentioned the suit. Um, I think that it was a little blurry at times, but I think that's just my phone and like sometimes on Twitter when you're watching it like that, just sometimes it's like that. I don't know if it gets same thing happens with you. It happens to me on like every trailer on my phone off of Twitter. End of the day, really liked it. I liked her as in this.
I tend not to pay attention much to CGI if it's a trailer. When I see like the real product and see if there's any finishing touches, that's when I'm really grading it. So I'm not really ready to jump on that. Other criticism I have of this, it's just a Flash movie where I'm excited about everything but the Flash. I think that's a little concerning. It's like I'm excited for Keaton. I'm excited for General Zod. I'm somewhat excited for Supergirl, but I don't know. It's just Barry Allen. I don't know if like it has a little bit of Shazam when he's like Shazam moment there at the end when he's bringing out his phone and wanting to get footage. I want our kids to see this. It just to me, it's like, okay, this is where we're getting a little corny. This is where we're straying too much into that Shazam territory that isn't really my cup of tea. I'm hoping that's very limited. It's very much like just for the trailer type of moment.
Yeah, I had a similar comment, like negative out of this trailer. Um, and also like some of the dialogue, like there may not be a future. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that delivery there. But I think your comment is really where my negative tone was where it's like, oh, it's going for the comedy here, just like the Flashes in the Justice League movie. But I think I just hope they don't overdo it. But I will say a positive thing with the Flash ring, love that. Love
Cool.
that, and the suit looks awesome. It's like the gold, yellow gold running through it. It's like the electricity going through like a generator or something, like the
Looks
flux
cool.
capacitor. Looks awesome. Looks so much better than the Snyderverse Flash, like a suit. Love it. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to see it on the big screen.
And it was cool watching him run on like the pieces of the building that blew up and he's just like flying through it. Like the Flash has potential to have some really great cinematic moments that I think will really like pop on screen, you know? And I know they were talking about the cinematographer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the same one who's doing the Flash, and James Gunn was kind of hyping that up. It has potential for sure. Before we move on to Guardians of the Galaxy, since I just brought it up, uh, let's do thermometer predictor for the Flash. And do you think we should wait for the second trailer? Or are you ready to do it right now?
I can do it now.
What do you think the score on Rotten Tomatoes will be for the Flash when it premieres?
I think there will be an Ezra Miller backlash a little bit to hold it back.
Yeah.
But I'm buying this hype. I'm buying this hype of that this will be great. But I'm not going to put it in the 90s because of the Ezra Miller backlash. 86.
86. Okay. I think there will be some Ezra Miller backlash. I'm anticipating there might be some CGI discussion. I am anticipating there's going to be a lot of like maybe a muddled plot, maybe just a muddled story with all the different characters that are trying to be fit in here. I'm going to be I'm a little more down on it. I'll be 77%. I'll do 77, but I got to see the second trailer and see if it looks even better than this one looked. But I'm kind of just tempering expectations. I don't want to get too high here, especially for a movie that has characters that won't be seen again, most likely in the DCU. And yeah, so that's going to do it for our Flash trailer breakdown.